How's it going, everybody? Alexander here with High Winds EDC, and it's the second day of fall, y'all. So I wanted to try to get this recorded yesterday for the first day of fall, but I was just so busy yesterday, so I wasn't able to. Today, it's Friday. Got off at a good time. I don't have to report to my second job, so I got a little bit of free time. So, why fall? Why fall? Why is this important? Well, fall, it happens to be my favorite season of the year. I'm a little angsty teenager at heart like that still. Love it whenever the colors of the leaves change. Love it. All right. So without any further ado, got a full review here for you of this guy right here. This is Spyderco Manix 2. This one is special because it is in CPM-Cruwear. And it is also sporting a badass set of scales. Yeah. So let's get into it a little bit. Usually we go from tip to bottom with my reviews. And we're going to start there. We're going to start with this awesome drop point leaf style blade shape. Pretty much it is Spyderco's calling card. The edge has been really nice. The CPM-Cruwear has been very, very nice. It's got a PVD coating, which is, it's dirty. Look at it. I've been putting this one through a lot of really good use. Shoot, I don't even know how long I've had it for, but it's been a pleasure to carry. I can say that. Then on this edition, we have, this one is made in America. Golden, Colorado, USA Earth, right? And it's got blackened hardware. It has these Rockscale design scales in a Hexi pattern, and it's a skinny version, so there's not an additional like a finger choil here. Let's see what else. It has a Flytanium ball cage in it, right? I put this lanyard on here, but the scales themselves are graphite. It's very, very pretty. I love the design of these scales. I've always been a fan of them, so much so that I got a pair of their Hexi scales for my favorite knife of all time, the Demco 80-20.5. This is a model that my wife got me for my birthday, and this is one of those forever pieces. So yeah. This one I bought this one on the secondary market for a very reasonable price. I was very happy to get it because it wasn't a scalper price. It wasn't an eBay price. Not only was it not an eBay price, but it came with the scales already mounted. So huge shout out to the gentleman that sold this to me. Thank you, man. You really cut me a good deal. So that way I could review such a beautiful knife. I've disassembled this knife. I think I've got that posted. It's fun to disassemble. The ball cage was kind of like new to me, but I've taken apart the Demco 80-20.5 several times. I've taken apart several other frame lock style knives. I've taken apart one Benchmade. It was my old Benchmade bug out to put Flytanium brass scales on it. That was pretty fun. I liked doing that one, but I would never do it again. I don't know. Maybe if the right bug out came out in like CPM Magnet Cut and a Tonto blade, that'd be cool. A bug out with the Tonto blade would be like, and then to get some aftermarket brass scales on it, that would just send me over the moon. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Back to this guy right here. So yeah, the price on it was very good. It still has the regular pocket clip. I have not added an aftermarket pocket clip. I just didn't see the need to do that since I'm reviewing this knife and I don't plan on keeping it. But yeah, so we'll talk about it right now. As it stands, I thought I was going to be able to use this knife till it needed its first sharpen, but the steel and the factory edge, I believe it's the factory edge. Remember, I'm not the original owner. I haven't sharpened it. It came to me pretty much factory, besides the scales, but I'm talking about the edge. edge retention has been really good. I've only, I don't know if you guys know this, but the strop that I use is an old barber's strop, so like they would use for their straight razors to strop it up before they go to shaving people's beards and stuff like that. That's something that I use. It was a gift to me, it was free, so that was my first and only strop at the time. So yeah, it was really nice, honestly, to just strop this thing up and to bring the edge back to life. There were times where I was like not cutting through paper anymore. I would check at my desk like, okay, have I lost my edge? Have I lost my edge? And we'll try to get some paper right here. I'm not going to take it out of the Holy Bible, but I know I got some extra paper in my Bible. There we go, summer camp. That's a good one. There we go. So I'll kind of give you an example of what the edge is looking like. This is just a small envelope, okay? And we're still, oh, well, that's a bad example, but we're still able to cut some paper. Right now it's just ripping it up. This is kind of like a thicker slice of paper, but it's able to cut that. I wouldn't be able to do this with like these straight cuts, sorry. Let's try to get you more on edge. Of course. So I'm able to make good cuts, but I'm not able to do those fine cutting tasks like phone book paper. I'm not able to do things like post-it notes and stuff like that, but whenever I take it to work, I can still cut down small little tree limbs, which I did. I try to post that so that way you guys can see that I'm really testing these things out. And it's not every day that I use my knife, but when I do need it, I have one. And that's kind of the point of EDC for me, to have it when I need it. And if I don't need it, it's all right. I'll just adjust accordingly. However, yeah, the edge has been really good. I really like it. I've only had to strop it up, and the factory edge can still get paper cut and sharp. Let's see what else. For food prep, cutting has been okay, I guess. It's not the most rewarding feeling in the world. It's not my Benchmade, what do they call it? Meat crafter. It's not the Boker AK1, but it got the job done. And this knife, I was very conscious about wiping it down and keeping it oiled throughout the month, because I'm notorious for sweating through steels. I've sweated through CPM M390, I mean not CPM M390, Bowler M390 on my Chavez 229. I put pits, sweat pits and rust pits in the satin grind, and so that's just me in the heat of the summer. It sucks, but it happens. Let's see, the action is really good, but right now it's pretty gritty. It's not right now, I guess I kind of knocked a lot of it loose, but it's been very, very gritty the last 2 days. So I will take it apart. I will clean out my internals and everything, and I'll make sure that this thing is ready to go. I'm gonna try to get some of the KPL cleaning agent that they released not too long ago. I'm gonna try to get some of that for this DLC. I think it looks, it's pretty dirty, and I don't think regular isopropyl alcohol is gonna be able to clean it up like the way I want it to. The ergonomics are great because you do have this forward finger choil that you can choke up on. I don't think I cut anything like this while I was using this, except maybe like right here. This is how I used it. I was able to kind of bear down on some of my some of the tree branches that I was using, but mostly I was cutting like this. Right. Sometimes I would try to do some food prep like this, a little dainty cut, I guess. This was able to cut threads off of children's clothing, so yeah, it's really good. My one complaint that I did have was the Spyderco clip. Not that it needs an aftermarket clip, that's not what I'm saying. It was just like the first day I got it, I was working, doing a side hustle, and as I was getting out of a friend's truck, the seat belt pulled the clip, and that happens. That's just kind of the nature of it. Sometimes the seatbelt slides up into the lower part of your hip and where your pocket clip is, and it gets caught, and you try to take it off, or you try to jump out of the truck really fast and you bend your pocket clip. So that was a bad thing. I carried it with the lanyard this whole time, but I've hated it, honestly. I just really like the aesthetics of it, especially for photographs. This is a very photogenic build. The Manix itself, it's an okay knife. It's a very like aesthetically just kind of neutral knife, in my opinion. Again, this is all my opinion. But with this build and the titanium scales, the Rockscale design scales are made out of titanium. It's just awesome. It does have a blackened, what do they call that, lanyard tube, and blackened hardware, and the only thing that's aftermarket is this Flytanium sage green aluminum ball cage, which is really cool. It adds that perfect color pop. I really like it. I really enjoy it. I can always swap it out with the plastic black one if I ever wanted to, but I'm gonna try to, I don't know, I like the green. That's just my style, and it was like the right color pop for this knife. I could have gone red, and of course I could have gone black as well, but I think green really just pulled it all together. What else can I say? Heirloom factor, I talk about that a lot on my channel, like the ability to pass a knife down. I feel like pretty much any knife that you get nowadays, you can pass down to somebody, unless it's just an absolute like M-Tech of a knife. Then I think a lot of knives have some heirloom factor. I think every knife on a scale of 1 to 5 starts at a 1, right? Like, yeah, you could like, yeah, that was my granddad's knife. It was a little beater, but you know, he used it every day, or he had it. This one has like an heirloom factor of maybe 3, maybe like 2 and 2.87 or something like that. The heirloom factor is not that strong, but you could confidently, like, I could give this to my son in a couple of years, whenever he's like of age, when he's 18 or something like that. I wouldn't give it to my daughter. I don't think this is a daughter's knife. This is definitely a son's knife. My son is going to be bigger than I am whenever he grows up, so this would be great for him. The ergonomics on it are really good. The skinny scales really don't generate any hot spots. The scales feel really nice. I feel like the let's see, talked about heirloom factor, talked about the edge. I was very impressed with the CPM-Cruwear. I really liked it. I've only ever handled another knife in Cruwear for like a day before I sold it. Was the Benchmade Mini Adamas, and it just wasn't for me. It was kind of too heavy, and I don't know, I just didn't like it as much as I thought I would. The hype around the Mini Adamas definitely drove me to buy it when I first got it, but like I said, I had it for like a day, maybe a week at most, and I sold that one. So I didn't even get to use that specific, like Benchmade's CPM-Cruwear. But this one's really nice and durable. Because of the blade shape and the blade profile and the geometry of it, I wasn't gonna pry with it. Now, if I had like a, I don't know, a Tonto blade, I'd do a little bit of prying with it, even though you're not supposed to. I fully acknowledge that. I just don't trust this tiny tip to do any kind of prying, lid lifting, anything like that, so I just left it alone. What else can I say? Like I said, the action's really nice, but today, the last 2 days, it's been very gritty, so I'm gonna have to take it apart and hit it with some, and clean everything up, hit it with some Gunny Glide, and just, yeah, get it ready back to put it back on the secondary market. Really like the Manix too. The edge was really nice. We can do some size comparisons. We'll compare it to my favorite knife, the Demco 80-20.5 and the Shark's Foot. We're gonna go pivot to pivot, just so you can, I hate doing it this way, but I got to. Pivot to pivot-ish. Right about there. Okay. It is longer, the blade is longer. The handle scales are right about the same. The handle, like the handle length is about the same. I do like the axis style. That's one thing that I do need to talk about before I go any further into the size comparisons. The ball cage, I think, is really good. Really good. I think it's better than the axis lock, in my opinion, because of the straight coil spring. I've just seen, it's never happened to me, but I've seen the Omega springs break, and I realized that is a point of failure. Just like every other moving part is a point of failure, and the Benchmade is a good lock. The axis lock is a good lock. The cage lock is a lot better. And honestly, with the Flytanium replacement ball cage, using this with gloves, which I have right now, is a lot easier to me than some of the axis locks. Because some of the axis locks barely have like any, what would you call it? Like this. Axis. Not axis, access to the lock. But this one you have great access to the lock, and the sliding lock bar lock is executed very well, and I trust the spring that's in it a lot more than I do the Benchmade axis lock. That being said, I do love the Benchmade axis lock. So yeah, this knife was very wieldy with gloves, okay? I like it for this reason right here, because you can deploy it and get it in and out of the pocket with gloves on. I couldn't do that with the Spyderco Shaman. If I wanted to use a Spyderco Shaman, I had to take this glove off to hit the compression lock, because my gloves wouldn't allow me to have access to the inside of the compression lock area. So I would have to take off a glove and use my finger. And that's a bit of a pain in the butt, especially like if you're trying to do something, if you're holding something and you need like one-handed operation. Well, if I'm holding something with gloves, I'm usually trying to be safe. And then having to take off that glove gives me a measure of unsafe practice. So there is that. I really like the lock on this one a lot better than I do the compression lock, but I love the compression lock. So it's like tier system. I'd put this as a locking mechanism. We did the size comparison to the Demco. We'll do a size comparison to the Chris Reeves Umnumzon. So 2 large knives. This is a very large knife. It wasn't able to fit in any of the leather caddies that I own. Here we go. Almost identical in size. I gotta stop doing that because it doesn't help you guys whenever I'm covering it up. So kind of pivot to pivot, more or less. 2 very large knives. Umnumzon comes in a little bit bigger, I believe. Yes, looks like it on camera. Yeah. Let's take a look at the Pinion Knives Mula. The Pinion Knives Mula is a medium-sized knife. We'll do it up against the Spyderco Delica, which is the only other Spyderco that I own. And this is a friend gave me this one, so that's really nice. All I had to do was pay the shipping for this Delica. I might try to do a review on it. But yeah. Let's see, what else could we compare it to? Speaking of Benchmade, this is my only Benchmade that I have left, besides my Griptilian, which my brother now has, is Benchmade Vector 496. So yeah, I like large knives even though I have small hands. And we'll do the Hinderer ZT 0393. Try it this way too, that way you guys can see it. The show side. Yeah. And the last knife that I have that's a folding knife is the ZT 0640, which I really love this design. I need to carry this one a little bit more. I miss it. Just getting it in hand right now, the ergonomics are really good. No hot spots. And the clip actually has been fitting in my work jeans, so I was worried about that, but the clip goes in and out of the work jeans that my job provides fairly easily, so I'm not mad about that. But here we go. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it somewhat even. Yeah. Yeah. Really good, really good. I love the locking system. I love the Cruwear. I just hate DLT. Not DLT. I like DLT. They're a good knife company, distributor. I hate the DLC coating that they put on this one, just because it gets kind of grimy and murky. Oh, there it was. Sorry, it was kind of, you could hear the. One thing that I did notice on this though, there was a lot of blade play when I first got it, and that's gone now. Up and down blade play is pretty solid, but no, when I first got it, it was like really shady, and I was like, oh no, the scales probably threw off the the alignment or something like that, but no, it's very good now. So yeah, this, guys, has been a full review of the Spyderco Manix 2. If you have any questions, about disassembly, please refer to my previous videos on that. If you have any questions about this particular knife, feel free to send them to me, comment, like, subscribe, and I just want to say that I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, whenever you're watching this. God bless you all. All right, gentlemen, thank you. Bye.